My mission? To find the top female science, technology, engineering, and math professionals of the triad. Together, we want to inspire the area's future scientists and engineers.
When the vulture regurgitated on me when she vomited up 2 eyeballs from the wildebeest that she had just consumed.
Oh my
And that's
goodness.
like prime meat for a vulture.
Oftentimes people assume when maybe you're attending a historically black college or university that, oh, all the professors are more than likely African American, but in this case, it's not so true.
Right, it's not true.
I think it doesn't matter how old you are, this is always going to be fun. I went to college, I thought I wanted to be a journalist, and then I didn't do well in a course. Actually, I had a professor who told me he saw no potential in me, and I kind of was like, well, then I don't know if I want to do this anymore. Sometimes on our journey in life, we are faced with really big challenges that sometimes make us not want to move forward, and then something happens and it hits us and says, no, I still need to keep doing this. Did that ever happen to you?
Absolutely. My son passed away when he was 2 days old on my birthday.
The reason why I'm here today is because you were recognized as a phenomenal woman in this program. Do you see Rosie as a phenomenal woman?
I do. I mean, there's some days that I'm doubtful of her, but I do.
When I was in there and I just saw her working, all these men getting their hands dirty and everything, I could never do it. I said, thank you for what you do. Because I'm always a woman, I'm like, Daddy, they're telling me I gotta fix the brakes, I gotta fix, I have no clue what to do. Flying is an easy, relaxing way to travel, especially when going long distances. But have you ever considered who's in the cockpit? Most times it's likely a male flying the plane, but one triad woman is changing that narrative. Meet a trailblazing female pilot.
You ready? Let's go.
May K. Beeler, once a household name in the triad.
About 37 years ago, I had the opportunity to learn to fly for a TV assignment.
Beeler hosted a television show in the 80s called PM Magazine on WFMY News 2 and was offered a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity she couldn't pass.
And I was just blessed beyond measure when the assignment came up. We want you, May K, to learn to fly.
She says Sally Ride, the first American woman in space, is her unofficial mentor. Beeler says when Sally Ride was flying into outer space, she was learning to fly a plane.
I was practicing for world aviation records when I was pregnant with my son.
And Beeler says aviation is in her son's DNA.
So he flew when I was pregnant with him for like up to 8 months, and I became a flight instructor at the time. And the FAA pilot examiner, when I passed that flight instructor certificate, they gave him a certificate too.
More than 30 years later, her son is now an air show pilot and aerospace engineer.
Yeah, RJ's brilliant and better pilot than I'll ever be or his father will ever be, and we're grateful for that. That's evolution.
With men traditionally found in the cockpit, Beeler's mission is to bring more women into the field. In 2013, Beeler founded the Diva Flight Experience to inspire women to fly.
We put you in the cockpit of a real airplane at the flight controls flying an airplane. It's not a simulator. You're in the pilot's seat.
Beeler let me test the experience.
So this should all come alive here in a minute.
Ooh.
Just pull it back and the elevator goes up. And what happens is as it goes up, it displaces the air above it.
Beeler says this flight program is her way of flying it forward.
If a girl can see it, she can be it. And all it takes is for a young girl to see one woman who's a pilot to know it's possible.
I'm a black woman. My hair in its most natural state is not straight. It is kinky and coily. Little Momo had a full head of hair, and 20-something years later, that story is just the same. As a little girl, I wanted to be on TV, but I didn't see anyone with hair like mine. Even getting into this news industry, I was told only straight hair will get you jobs. So when I was first getting into this business, I'd squeeze my head into wigs. For my first 2 years in TV, I didn't dare to wear my real hair. I remember leaving home from work, ripping it off so quick I hated it. But when I took time away from television last year, it was so hard to uphold a smile hiding behind the lies of hair that wasn't even mine. The wigs weren't me, and I said to myself, I'm not doing this anymore. For the first time, I embraced my truth. For the first time, I chose to reveal to the world what I kept in private, my natural hair. Earlier this week, I was called out on social media for my hair. And the crazy part is, I'm not too hurt by it. 2 years ago, I would have cried. But today, I know who I am. I know I'm beautiful. But I know there are so many young girls who haven't yet learned that about themselves. So I'm wearing my hair to say, let the world see you the way you really are. You have to pay $60+ at the gas tank when you're used to paying $20. You're stuck at the airport for more than 8 hours because of flight delays, and then it's just canceled. You're constantly being told stories of hatred and heartbreak. You're hundreds of miles away from all of your family who you love and care about. You're trying to eat healthily and remain fit, but you're just plain old exhausted, and the list goes on. Well, that's my reality. I'm no stranger to the rough patches of life, and I know I'm not the only one just going through it. So I'm curious, who do you become when life gets rough? Were you that kind coworker that had an ear to listen when you saw a fellow coworker looking off? Were you that patient driver behind me as I stressfully waited for the gas meter to toggle to that ridiculous dollar amount? Were you that sweet lady in the grocery store that shared gestures of gratitude as we shuffled our carts down the aisle? Were you the smiling face that greeted folks in and out of the gym? Who do you become when life gets rough? We need each other to survive, and I'll be the first to admit your patience, kindness, gratitude, generosity, and love means the world. Have someone's back today by remembering to become the right person when life gets rough.